Um, but the thing that I'm most impressed with is what they built off of over the summer. I thought these kids had a great summer, and I thought that they were far more advanced with blocking all sorts of different looks and the communication and just kind of the timing with the quarterbacks and the receivers. So that's kind of been the most impressive thing to me so far.
Yeah, but again, any player, any particular player that has been stepping out so far offensively that kind of caught your eye?
Not too much right now. Today we're going to go live for the first time because everything right now has been very controlled, everything's been scripted out so we can make sure that we're hitting everything that we need to hit leading into the season. But right now, there's been guys that have shown signs of things jumping out, but I don't want to jump too far ahead of myself before we start getting into true evaluations of these guys.
And yourself, how comfortable have you been as far as just stepping in there with new players, new system, even though you had the spring, but still, first fall camp coming back?
Just stepping in with new players, it's been good. It's been actually a pretty easy transition based off of you've been here in 2011, 2012, so there's a lot of similarities of what you ran as like what we ran here, and I learned underneath Dana. So when you go off to Texas A&M and Cal, you're still running a version of what I learned from Dana. So coming back was mainly just try to see what the changes of the terminology was and try to adapt to what type of personnel they were. But it's been good. A lot smoother transitions than what most offense coordinators will probably do in their time of coming into a new program. No problem.
What do you expect to work on next week?
Next week, we got majority of all the offense in. Next week is more of fine tuning your base installs, and then you start to tweak a little bit of some things. Try to amp it up a little bit on them. Try to get some good conditioning in as well, because that's the last really true. Well, you got a few weeks of camp, but that's going to be really the last true one of just pure out hitting. Just trying to finalize your evaluations for your offense, but that last week of fall camp leading into our mock week is more of kind of cutting back off and trying to get the kids' legs back and moving forward with those guys.
Do you think a lot of your guys are shaking the rust off at the end of the week?
A little bit. Today will be interesting because we're going live for the first time, so we'll see if they've kind of knocked it all out yet. But it's a grind. These kids go through a lot right here. It's early mornings, late nights, and there's physical strain on their bodies. So our strength staff does a really good job of the recovery aspect of it. But again, you got to emotionally and physically bring it every day, and sometimes it's hard to do. Yesterday wasn't as emotional a practice as it was on the first day we had pads on, but I'd expect this one today going live for the first time to be a pretty emotional physical practice.
What have you seen out of the kid from Rice, German?
German, good. Learning curve right now, throwing a lot at him, giving him a ton of reps, but I think the kid's got the right mindset. You can tell that he's played a lot of football. He was actually a quarterback at Rice at one point, and he's been a receiver, so he's played in the college level. So really right now he's just trying to figure out, the offense and all the ins and outs of it, and so he can hopefully probably get out there and help us. But I've been pleased with how he is so far. We just got to keep repping over these next 2 weeks and developing him and getting it where he's not thinking, where he starts to think slow. Is where I'm trying to accomplish with it.
Playing inside, can he bounce around a little bit?
Yeah, he can. He can bounce around. Right now we've got him focusing on the inside because we're not a very big believer in moving guys all over the place, especially new guys. It's mainly here's your position and let's learn it and move forward with that.
A guy you talked about in the spring a little bit, Tevin Bush.
Mm-hmm.
Where is he at now in the fall?
What's crazy is that room's really talented. I love his mindset. I was talking with Coach Dews. Coach Dews believes he's one of the tougher guys that he's ever been in that room. Even though he's little. But that whole room in general is pretty impressive. And you got 3 guys with experience with Crawford, McCoy, and Petaway, and then you throw Tevin in there, and then Alex Sinkfield comes in, and he's been showing signs too. So that whole room right now is pretty talented and very competitive. But I think I'm going to have to get creative on how to find ways to get them the ball and get these guys touches because, you've got some pretty good weapons in that backfield. So, but very pleased with Tevin overall, not just in the backfield, but out at the receiver as well. He's kind of a change of pace guy. He's got some speed. He's got some juice to him. So, we'll see what we can build with him going in the future.
Just a general update on quarterbacks. Have they hit a wall a little bit, or new guys? I mean, not necessarily will.
The new guys, yes. That's especially when these guys haven't even been in the summer. They show up fall camp and you throw the whole playbook at them in 4 days and tell them to go out there and operate it. Things start to kind of run together at some point. But when the newer guys are out there running reps, I'm walking around with them and helping them through the process of the communication aspect of it. But their heads are going to be spinning for a little while. They gotta rep.
We talked about tight end in the spring as well. Now that you're out here in fall camp, are you starting to see kind of what you wanted to see out of that position? Do you have the bodies? Do you have the bodies that do what you want to do?
We're getting there. Right now it's you've got Eli. Obviously, he's really the rock of our offense right now. He does a great job for us, vocally and from a physicality standpoint. And then you got Trayvon Wesco, where you got those two guys are really the two guys that have been repping the most for us. We're sprinkling in some guys to evaluate right now with Rob Dowdy and Bees Jack and Drummond and all those guys. But I think that's going to start solidifying out probably after this week. But I feel like we have more running backs right now than we do the tight end position.
What have you seen from David Sills so far?
Sills, Coach Sills is what we call him now. He does a great job. The thing you have to worry about Sills is he does too much. You got to pull him back off of things. He's constantly running inside receiver routes, outside receiver routes. He's doing extra drills. He's in the film room all night. At the end of the day, you got to tell him to get home, get some sleep, relax a little bit because he's eager. He wants to be really good. He tells everybody, he helps everybody out. He tells everybody what to do at times, and you like that. And Dan has mentioned it a few times about being a quarterback mentality in the receiver room, and that's pretty much what Sills brings to the table, which has now escalated to Coach Sills because he ends up pretty much knowing all the positions on the field.
And now, how does that quarterback mentality that he has help him with this position at receiver?
Again, knowing the ins and outs, knowing where to sit, in certain zones where, if he envisioned running that play as a quarterback, where he would want that receiver to sit, he already has an understanding of that, and this is where probably Will wants me to sit on this play, and or keep it on the move. It's just the overall knowledge of the entire offense, and just that he can go out there and operate it from a quarterback's eyes.
And for just all the receivers in general, they had said about how the work that they put in with Will over the summer just to get the timing down and just spending a lot of time together, whether it be working on football or not. How have you seen that kind of team bonding progress and transfer into their ability?
You see the strides that they've made from spring to fall camp has been huge because you can tell that they've been out there working together nonstop. And Will takes a lot of pride in this, so he gets the whole group out there. And they're going probably 3-4 times a week, just throwing individual routes, throwing pass skill, and you can tell that the continuity that they got right now, you can tell that they've worked on a lot of that throughout the summer, and especially the little things, the things that as coaches you want to. You're not expecting them to be that far along. They're already that way. So now we're kind of getting a little bored with things where they are because they're so far advanced that it's time that we start advancing the playbook a little bit more because they've had such great work over the summer.